In this final video on changing the subject of the formula, we're going to deal with a subject where it's in the denominator of a fraction and being subtracted from something. So like a double whammy, really. Now, remember, to change the subject of the formula means to get it on its own on one side of the equation. So we need this x on its own on one side of the equation. Now, there is a long way we can do this, but I'm going to show you some nice little tricks that will make the algebra easier for you. But we're still going to understand how these tricks work. So we had something in previous videos called the swapsy trick, and there's actually two different swapsy tricks. There's subtraction swapsy and there is division swapsy. So let's first think about subtraction swapsy. If I had a subtraction like this, 10 minus 7 is equal to 3, then what could you swap in that subtraction so that it's still true? Well, you can swap the 7 and the 3 to give you 10 minus 3 equals 7. And that's still clearly true, right? So it seems to be you can swap the thing you're subtracting and the result of that subtraction. So that's subtraction swapsy. Now, division swapsy is this. Imagine you've got division, 10 over 5 is equal to 2. What can you swap in that division so it's still true? Well, you can swap the 5 and the 2. So you get 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5, right? So it seems to be, this time, we can swap the thing you're dividing by, the 5, and the result of the division. So that is division swapsy. So we can use both of these here. Let's think about this equation. We're trying to get x on its own by undoing the stuff that's around the x. You can see x, we're adding 1, then it's been divided into c, and then it's been subtracted from b. The last thing we did was that subtraction, so therefore, let's start by using subtraction swapsy. So we can swap this thing we're subtracting and the result of that subtraction, and that gives us, we swap those, c over x plus 1 is equal to b minus y. Now, let's look, x is now in the denominator of a fraction, so we can use the division swapsy this time. So remember, we can swap the thing that we're dividing by and the result, so we can swap the x plus 1 and the whole of b minus y, right? So if we do that, we get c over b minus y is equal to x plus 1. And this is looking good now because x is almost on its own. So we just need to get rid of that plus 1 here. We undo it by just subtracting 1 from both sides of the equation. And we get c over b minus y, subtract 1, making sure that subtract 1 is outside the fraction, so it doesn't look like it's in the denominator or the numerator. And then that is equal to, well, the plus 1 and minus 1 cancel, and we're just left with x like that. So we've managed to get x on its own on one side of the equation, and we are done.